them, for you?
Well, it's exciting because this is the most important part of the week of your whole season, going into the state tournament. This is what it's all about. You know, wrestling's a sport where you try to get a lot of duels in and tournaments in, and it's all about preparation through the season for the state tournament. And here we are, we're in the state tournament week, and a lot of these kids are very excited about wrestling. We're going to have hundreds of kids at this tournament, and their ultimate goal is to win state titles, to place in state tournaments. So this is exciting for the kids, it's exciting for the people that are putting it on, and this is the final finale for our tournament.
It's amazing to me, you and I have talked about this before, and probably every year this comes up, but just about how much the sport has grown. And I think it's Arkansas second to last, right, to institute it as a sport, and just how far it's really come.
You know, I moved over here 9 years ago, and it was pretty much mute. There was some high schools wrestling. Greg Hatchard had started up quite a few high schools. I would say around 15 at the time, but it was a mute situation. There was, you know, what isn't even sanctioned in high school sports in Arkansas. So from when I moved here and 9 years later, it's amazing how fast it's grown. I mean, it's really exploded. Not only has it exploded at the high school level, it's exploded at the youth level. There's a lot of youth programs in the state. We went from my first year here, there was 3 youth programs in the state of Arkansas. There's around 30 now in the state of Arkansas, all around the state. Youth programs, and they're strong and they're powerful, and there's a lot of kids in the programs. And not only that, you look at the college level. We have 5 colleges in this state wrestling right now. The state I'm from, Oklahoma, which is a hotbed of wrestling, we have more college wrestling teams in this state than we do in the state of Oklahoma. So it has really exploded. And I think the reason why is that, especially at the youth level, and these kids coming in at a young age now, these parents are realizing what kind of sport this sport is. It's a sport that teaches discipline. It builds character. It teaches you how to win and lose. You know, it gives a lot of life lessons that you carry on after the sport's over with. And these parents, they come into our room, and after about 2 or 3 weeks, they get it. They see what this sport can do for their child. And that's one reason why I think it's growing so fast.
It's amazing to me. If no one's ever come to the tournament at the Stevens Center,
right.
It is probably the most well-run state tournament. I mean, you guys got it down to a machine. It's incredible.
Right. Well, you know, now we do, but I'll have to tell you, the first couple of years were a little sketchy. But you know, we worked out the problems, and you know, we feel like we run a good tournament, and we want a tournament where it's a special tournament, and really special for the kids. That's why we put a little extra into it. When it's kids standing up on the podiums, bringing in podiums, having nice wrestling mats, you know, just making it, fancying it up for the kids to make it a great experience for these kids, and something they can feel proud of.
Give us maybe a couple matches to watch, a couple people to pay attention to.
Well, I think there's a few matches out there to watch. I think there's a kid that I coached, Cooper Griffin, who's wrestling for Catholic High, who will be running for his first state title, and he's fell short the last 3 years, but he's good enough to win a state title. I think this kid, he's put a lot of work into the sport of wrestling. I've had him since he was a little kid, and you know, I'm excited to see how he does this weekend. There's kids that are going for 4 state titles. There's Hunter Jones, who is from Little Rock Christian, going for his 4th state title. That's something that's very special, as well as Nick Noel going for his 4th state title as well from Pulaski Academy. So there's some things like that going on in the state. I think their team races are going to be excited, especially in the 1A, 5A team race. I think Greenbrier and Pulaski Academy, that's going to be a fun team race to watch. And watch out for McClellan. They've got a good team, and they wrestle hard every year at the state. Those kids wrestle hard. So the team race in the 1A, 5A, I think, is going to be very exciting.
Is she really?
Who's taller?
He's got maybe a hair over you.
You know, but the extra hair helps.
Yeah.
He's cheating in the
Yeah.
He's cheating.
The coiffed hair helps. What is this like for you? You see your son, he's excelling at quarterback, he wins a state title. He's doing the same thing here in wrestling. It's pretty special.
Well, it is. He's had a great early career, and the football is great because it's a team sport and involves so many, and there's so many dynamics to it. The individual sport's great because it's personal. There's nobody that can help him, nobody that really can coach him once you're out there. You're on your own. And what's really been neat from the wrestling perspective is that he started wrestling when he was 6. So when we first started wrestling in Arkansas, we've watched him grow to now we have a high school sport that he can really participate in, and that's pretty cool. And not just him, but all his buddies. All his buddies that we started when they were little bitty kids are now really stars in high school wrestling.
What happened? Your dad so involved, and he's overseeing this, and he's a big part of the PA football program too.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It works out most of the time. Sometimes there are little arguments here and there, but most of the time it goes really well.
We settle him on the mat.
Did you wrestle too?
I did.
You did? Okay, yeah.
Having a little trouble with him these days on the mat. So.
What did he teach you about wrestling?
It's more mindset and toughness stuff, not necessarily moves. That was more Pat's job, but his was more get up every time, get beaten down, and giving me the opportunity to make me. When I was little, I was always wrestling in 2 divisions, so I'd get more matches. And he was smart about that, trying to give me as much as I could and give me everything I could to be great.
I wrestle him in the 10 and under and the 12 and under. I just ready to make him wrestle all day and get 8 matches a day. You know.
Once he beats you in height, it becomes harder to wrestle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was just talking with Pat about how amazing it is, and we bring this up every year, but just how amazing the sport has grown in the last few years.
Yeah, it's what I tell people now. The numbers are there, but the biggest growth now is the quality of wrestling, because a kid that started wrestling in 9th grade, it's hard for him to ever be as good as a kid that started wrestling when he was 6 or 7 or 8. And you might be able to pick up football at a later age because it's so much about speed and just athleticism. But wrestling, there's 1,000 moves. You got to have a counter for all those moves. So you really do need some tenure doing it.
You've seen the same thing. You've been doing this since you were 9. So, yeah.
When I was little, we were never wrestling in the state of Arkansas. We were always going somewhere else to get better competition. Now you can stay in Arkansas and get pretty good competition. Not like Oklahoma, but you're getting up there.
I was saying to Pat, dude, this is one well-run tournament. You've never been to it. I mean, someone and I were just talking this morning, talking about who's going to come over. It's like, it's down to the T. It's run well. You guys got it down.
Well, we have our priorities. We have a great hospitality room. Okay, to start with, you got to feed people well. We have the national announcer. So the lady that announces the tournament also announces the NCAA Division I tournament. So we bring in very good people, and we have great volunteers. And the Stevens Center is a perfect venue. It's the perfect size, and I hope everybody comes out. The finals will be Saturday at 3:30. We start wrestling Friday at 10 a.m., goes till about 7 or 8 o'clock on Friday night, and then we start back at 9 in the morning. Semi-final matches are actually about as good as the finals matches because it's so emotional to see who's going to get in to the finals. So those are great to watch Saturday morning as well.
Cool. You got anything, Papa?
Yeah, I just want, when we first started out, how many schools did we have involved in wrestling?
Well,
How long ago?
When we first started it, we got 20 schools, and then to get it sanctioned with the AAA, they wanted 40, so we went and got 40, and it really wasn't that hard to get them. We offered free mats to any school that started, and Arkansas schools jumped on it. Arkansas is not as big a state as other states, so you're never going to have 150 schools. But the quality of our wrestling is very good. We had 6 kids signed with colleges this year out of the Arkansas Wrestling Academy, and we'll have a bunch more Division I wrestlers this year. Our state's producing some of the best in the country. Pulaski Academy has 4 wrestlers alone on their team that are probably ranked in the top 15 nationally.
So how many schools do we have total right now,
We have 47 that will wrestle in the state tournament. We've had 65 different schools that have wrestling at different times, but sometimes a smaller school may drop off, etc. The number of wrestlers on a team is much greater, and we're over 4,000 wrestlers in the state of Arkansas right now. What you're seeing at the state tournament is only the varsity wrestlers from those schools.